Season 4 of Strive is out, and some people are wondering about its direction. Ghostface makes an appearance, and we talk about your Mount Rushmore of bosses. Welcome to Double Tap. This is a podcast dedicated to everything and anything in the fighting game community. I am, of course, Crash, one of your hosts, and this 2v2 team up of a show this week. I've got StaticGorilla with me.
Hello, welcome to me. Yes, thank you, and welcome to the listeners for being here.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in on another episode of Double Tap. If you haven't already, make sure to follow us on social medias all over. We're literally on like every platform. Make sure to follow Double Tap FGC. Come say what's up there. And for everyone that's been jumping through, coming by the YouTube as well at Double Tap FGC and subscribing, commenting. Just interacting. We do appreciate it, getting involved in things like our question of the week or our polls, which we'll be having a new one this week. We appreciate you guys for coming through, showing up all the love, especially with all this Guilty Gear talk that we've had recently. So let's jump into it with that. So season 4 is out. It's post Halloween. We're post kind of the honeymoon week. We've all been playing. Even people that aren't here, like Mezza, who's just been kind of grinding it out, who has had needed a reason to come back, and I think overall it's been good for him. But there are some caveats, man. Like, we're gonna talk about Dizzy, just some of the last conversations we can have with her, conclusions with like if she's good or bad or what works and what doesn't. But we've got a bunch of other characters that got touched, including our mains, right? So some of these characters, they've gotten some of their fundamentals kind of changed up a bit. Some kind of had some changes, but not enough. But then some of these matchups are also gotten crazy, and also there's maybe some unintentional stuff going on. But but for you, Static, you've been going into some old favorites, and actually I've been meaning to ask if you've happened to check out some changes for another character that you play, because I've noticed you haven't been playing them either. But how has it been playing Eno?
Yeah. It feels like kind of the same, but again, I don't think it really, unless you are still a diehard Eno player, then yeah, it might help. I just saw a combo that Daryl Eno was doing where, the combo, as the combo gets back to the ground, the HCL, one of the buffs of the HCL in the air is that you can land a lot faster. So either on block, you'll be a little bit more plus, or during a combo, you can land and get a super out by the time you hit the floor. So, I don't know if that's depending on like holding forward or holding backwards and trying to, because you can move around the room. Yeah. So that was one of the clips I saw. And just the moving around on the standing HCL, that's hyperchemical or what's that? Horizontal chemical love, by the way.
Horizontal. Yeah.
It's not. It's still kind of keep away. And then the fireballs, they dissipate, but when they dissipate, they do explode. So like if you're setting up Oki, you can send another one pretty fast right after it. So that's pretty cool at least. But besides that, they did something differently with Stroke too, but I wasn't too sure. I haven't been able to see it in my own play. Yeah, there are certain different things that it just didn't feel like it was a huge change to me.
Okay, so here's the other one. What about Testament? Because I'm surprised you haven't jumped in and played it, because Testament's big change, for those that aren't aware, is that now Stain, which is a big mechanic that Testament has, actually pops during grab, which is a big deal. That makes strike throw game much more rewarding, which Testament already kind of had like a pretty decent game at it. It wasn't like as threatening, but now because the Stain compounds and lets you combo and actually gets you to convert, especially with like the fast teleports and all, I think I at first impression I was like, yo, that's kind of insane.
Yeah, I haven't done.
But you're the only Testament that I know right now that plays.
I haven't done anything at all yet.
the Eno buffs, the long-awaited water in the desert that is Eno buffs is keeping you busy.
But it's also Slayer. Like I just been playing Slayer.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I keep forgetting you have a pocket Slayer like forever. Like you just play them.
I don't. But it's always Slayer and. Yeah, we were playing at the lab. So the day it started, the patch, we were playing at the lab, and Seattle was using Eno on me, and then I saw like a whiffed like air super, and like I immediately did whatever his Horizon move is, the super special move that he has.
Oh, the 100 tension joint?
Yeah, last Horizon. It missed. But anyway, doesn't have to do with the patch, but still, it's just like, just want
to get out there that he would have won if it hit. Yeah,
right.
Gotcha.
But there's footage up there. But besides that, somebody did bring it up to me. They're like, "Oh my god, did you see Testament's changes?" And I'm like, "I did, but like the character's been getting better every time, like every patch."
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a power creep. Honestly, with Testament.
Even so, there's something weird about like the Guilty Gear meta, is that nobody really wants to get away from their character. Character loyalty is like very weird. Other than like people, let's say like Super Noon, who's gone from Ramlethal to Bridget, but everybody's super loyal to their character. But also they don't want to become a scumbag. Like there's so many players that don't want to become a Happy Chaos player. but they'll nerf Happy Chaos.
They don't want to win enough. That's the problem.
And that I think is a huge sentiment throughout the game right now. But like Slayer players, they're like, I just want to win. I just want to
hit you. I just want to. Yeah, to the point where
do
damage.
They nerfed certain ranges on the mop punch. I think it's called mop punch, but if you say it fast enough, it's still mop punch. It's mop hunch, right? So you still say it fast enough, it's mop.
Just
punch.
a hunch is like what it's called. It's just
mop
like,
punch.
Are you blocking? Yeah.
Either way, GG. And while we're playing GG, so they nerfed like the push. They gave it pushback, but even in the corner, it's pushback enough that 2H will still work. But even 2H on counter
2H got buffed, didn't it? Didn't 2H also
got
get
nerfed?
Buffed? Oh, okay.
It has more recovery, like all the 6Ps do.
Oh, okay.
So it says here, crouching HS increase recovery. Doesn't matter if if they push a button.
Yeah.
You know, super Mappa punch. Let me see. Mappa punch is. I'm sorry, I have my light in the way of it. So increase recovery, increase knockback, blowback adjustment, and increase the launch height in counter hit. So like you see, they have all that recovery, but again, if you're doing it from max distance, then
it does on paper. It's one of those like on paper. So remember, one of the big lessons to take away: if you're ever like getting into the numbers of fighting games, you're like, oh, this should be negative, or like, and then you're trying to understand why a person would do a certain move when it like on paper it's like punishable or something. You got to think of it also like on a practical sense. There are some moves that are like bad in terms of say like recovery or whatever, but because practically like something like the distance factor is like you don't have a move that can reach that far within that range, so on paper it's negative, but practically on actually trying to punish it or seeing how bad it is might not actually be. You can't just go off by the numbers there. This is actually just one of those cases.
Yeah, always involved. So at the same time, I haven't run into many other characters. One that I'll be scared to run into is like Gold Lewis. If you've seen the videos, he can just just behemoth around the world, behemoth typhoons.
Oh yeah.
I've run into I haven't run into. Oh, yeah, I did run into a Biken, but the Biken was doing stuff you do, so it was not really a big deal.
Nothing impressive,
right?
Nothing impressive at all.
I haven't been scared by a chip yet, so that's something I'm.
You know what's funny? I got a chance to play my first chip the other day in Celestial. And I was like, okay, how's this going to work? Because already chip view biking is like one of the most annoying things. And it's not for anything other than like his 6P is so good that it just beats the shit out of her and like so many of her buttons. And he has such a crazy ground game. But like with the type rope and such, I'm like, it gets funky. And I got hit with some of the funk as well, some of the little mix-ups that he has. But nothing extensive yet. There hasn't been anything that blew my mind in it. Past that, in some cases, it even felt a little bit more predictable that I knew what they were trying to do because of them trying to, take advantage of the new move and all. But, this is just a week one thing. So that's going to adapt and change over time for sure. People are just trying the new toys out.
But besides that, I've been playing a lot of Dizzy characters. I've used Dizzy a lot. Oh, yeah. Everybody's using Dizzy. So, I mean, she's
Dizzy
out.
color number 8 or whatever that purple one is. That's like the go-to. White hair, purple, it's the go-to joint. It's the go-to joint.
Now, did we overreact about the Wings of Light? No.
Maybe a little bit, but it's for good reasons, all right? It's for good reasons. When they showed us that shit and we saw that health bar melt, it was crazy. But you know what? The move I didn't get to go nuts about more is fucking 2D. Even though we called it out, and I was like, yo, that 2D is like far. It kind of is like annoying, and come to find out, if she knocks you down and just gets into her chomper, like that's her set play right there. Like
not even
like rinse, repeat.
So there is set play involved, but the chomper is also a combo extender. Like let's say you do move, but now you can't just do slash into the I'ma catch a fish, whatever that move is called. But if you do that into the pillar of ice and then do the chomper, you can keep a combo going probably.
Yeah.
Or even if you do not even chomper, you can do the pillar into the ice then the chomp, and keep it going. But I mean, even the flame tongue is like really good. I don't know what it's called, but the flame
bin
toss,
yeah. So yeah, I got to play. Got to sit down and play with Mezza for a very long session. Shout out to Mezza for that, and it was slowly kind of becoming apparent. Like, yeah, she can. The good is like she has so many ways to convert. You have to really think hard about getting the freeze effect going, but her set play is solid. She can do damage. Her 2H is. I finally got to see the hitbox on that thing. It is insane. Like that button actually might start like any of her 2D, 2H, 2D, 2K to 2D is like so
and
dangerous.
It goes into heavy Michael Sword, which does like 40% already.
Michael Sword. Yeah, like she just chunks you. So that's the good on that side. The bad, unfortunately for her, is that there's just she can get just swamped. Like no reversals. Like once you're in there, like she has some okay buttons, but she has to challenge and take that risk. But I mean, Guts saves her butt quite a bit. Like having Guts level 5 has definitely saved her butt quite a bit for me.
One crazy button is heavy, standing heavy, which the end of it does freeze. The third hit of it. So like, let's say
I feel bad for them.
What's that?
You say good, but then I'm like, oh wait, I'm biking. It's a multi-hitting move. I'm going. Not to defer away anymore from Dizzy, but like, son, the biking counter. At first I was like, yo, that's good. When I found out it was on blocks, I'm like, yo, that might actually be better. Now whenever I do it, I'm just like, ooh, I'm dirty.
Yeah.
That I just took your turn away from you for
shouldn't
nothing.
Have given me this gift.
But I mean, I want to say nothing. Like I had to make the call out, right? I had to be aware and understand. But like, bro, when I get that, I just feel like I got shivers every time. Like, ooh, let me just dash cancel and get in your face now.
It's a button that's almost unchallengeable though. So like, if you see her do it and then you try to whiff punish it, there's a delay on the third hit that's gonna freeze you anyway.
That can freeze you.
Yeah. So
like,
like,
it's a little tricky.
Yeah, and if you're trying to like whiff something and you get hit by it, it's wild. I did see a Diaphone video of him looking at the entire, changes. Why is Bridget able to fly across the screen constantly? Did you see that at all? No?
Nah. It's funny. I haven't even fought a Bridget to even see that, if that was the case. Right now, it's been Dizzy Central.
This channel, your inner Limp Bizkit, and keep rolling.
Oh, okay. I'll keep that one in mind. I'll have to check her
Fred
out.
Durst to be exact.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, besides that, characters to really call out there, you Angie players, y'all need to just stop it. Please.
Oh, I haven't played one. I'm scared of the super.
No, it's just once again, like it's one of those cases where some of these moves or some of these options, don't get me wrong, they're great.
Yeah.
It's making, but it's also weak ones. So I always want to put that premise out there, but it's making just some of these like decision making is very much more predictable at the moment because they're like, I just want to Fujin twice and stuff. I'm like, oh, word, let me just keep myself to this space and I'm just gonna punish you because you're gonna want to change over and charge your Fujin into another one. Like no fear. Spin the win is still definitely a thing. I haven't come across a Happy Chaos yet. Funny enough, I haven't seen one yet. Nagos either, but then again, it's because kind of the main reason that I hope ArcSys takes this on, because it's a very interesting direction that they're taking the balancing overall and kind of like how they want these characters to interact. Some people are for it. Funny enough, we're hearing and seeing some of the older players kind of come out because now there's some stees in some of these characters, some more options, some more interactive moments at times, unless you're playing a Gold Lewis player. Then otherwise it's like, all right, good luck. It's been great. Some of the some other people have also been dooming like, oh my god, why would you do this dispatch? Like, it's week one, give it a second to cook. It hasn't even marinated yet. Let this shit cook first and we'll see what happens. But really, I think overall it's fun. Even with all the nonsense, I'm a fan of the nonsense. The more broken, the better. If everyone's broken, for me, like I'm in that camp. You will find me there. I will always die on that hill every time. If everyone's busted, I'm fine because that's chaos for everyone to enjoy with whatever character they want. Because you were just talking about earlier, right? Like people just don't want to let go of their characters. And it's like, well, okay, if everyone's busted, then that kind of makes everyone have fun because they're like, my character's broken, your character's broken. Maybe your character might be a little bit more broken, but I have my broken shit over here. And now, like, let's see who can deal with it. Oh, Pot. Oh, my God.
armor, but he got his Karas taken away. What do you say?
He's got his Karas taken away. I played a couple of pots. Things like slide head being counter hit is a bit of a pain for him, but I've been hit with the armor. I've been hit with the armor pop buster. It was scary. I almost screamed the first time, and I was like, oh, I saw red, and I was like, oh no, and then I got hit.
My dude,
but it hasn't
so
changed as much for me. Like I get less back mega fist. Honestly, that's about it.
Yeah, his list is very long, so we're not covering that. But you pop players, let us know how that's been going for you.
Overall, yeah, is it doom and gloom? Are you guys all right? Because I'm hearing both sides of the camp. Once again, people are like, oh my God. I mean, I understand that side, but then he did get better in other aspects. But overall, the direction of the game is interesting. But that just leaves me with just one final thought before we go on to break is what I want ArcSys to work on is the network of the game. Like, I think it's time to overhaul and work on the lobby systems. Because as much as I was enjoying to getting back on ladder and playing, the amount of times that not just me, but I've even seen, you know, content creators out there that are streaming on Twitch and stuff be like, all right, let's get into the game. They're about to get in, blah, blah, blah. Whoop, disconnect from server. Whoop, this and that. It's just like, guys, like, all love. I appreciate. Thank you for the balance patch. Let this cook for a while. You guys now have the time. Just let it do its thing. We won't worry about balance because it's crazy right now. Just let it do its thing. We've got Dizzy to mess around with. Just, work on fucking Venom and work on the lobby, please. Like if Venom comes out with a dope lobby fix or some network, optimizings, like that'd be amazing. But the next thing that they're actually keeping their sights on, which is actually going to be happening later on this week, is the 3v3. So if you guys didn't catch that or forgot about it, they did announce another beta for the Team of 3 mode that we also got a chance to play. But this is a more refined version. There's some things that are being added, like skill customization. There's an actual bar that allows you to pick specific assist actions. Besides the moves, you actually have items that you can send, but now you can actually create little, basically, loadouts for it. And then player matches, so you actually can create player matches. So you and me could actually play against each other out of 1v3. 1v3, we don't actually have to have 3 people, which is still interesting to see, like, how that's going to work out, because that's a lot of actions you're trying to, put together in one match. Like, Guilty Gear already has a bunch of stuff, but best believe there's going to be nonsense that comes out of it, but hopefully ArcSys will take on the call of everyone saying, hey, please work on network and lobby, please, because I think we're hurting now there a little bit. It's starting to kind of show up a bit. But let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you think about the direction of season 4 and where Guilty Gear is basically going. That's actually going to be this week's poll. Are you liking the direction that season 4 is taking Guilty Gear Stripe? If you are playing it, whether it's the character, whether it's the balancing, whether it's their dedication to other modes that they want to put on some more content, that's fine. Let us know. We're going to be putting this poll up on all our social media platforms as well as all on our podcast platforms that this is on. Make sure to go let us know. In the meantime, though, we're going to be taking a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some Ghostface MK1 trailer that just drops. We're going to check out the little Easter eggs they had in there and what we like. In the meantime, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. We always come back. Anyway, Ghostface. Ghostface MK1 trailer dropped, or gameplay trailer dropped, right? Ghostface being the latest character that's being added to MK1. We've known about this, obviously, for the Chaos Reigns Year 2 characters that was announced a while ago. But we finally got to see some gameplay besides the what was it? I think we had one fatality to show off, right? Yeah. We had a fatality, so we got a teaser that just dropped last week. And it was just chock full of, if you know the Scream franchise, it's really cool. It's got all the tropes of scary movies in there. But we actually got to see just a little bit of a taste of what he's actually going to do in the actual game itself with some of the gameplay that they have. It was, let me see. The gameplay actually did drop shortly after the teaser. But we had him going against Johnny in his apartment, right? Kind of setting the theme. And then we got to see what is like, for those that don't know, this in the Scream franchise, normally it's like 2 killers. That's like the joke. It's always 2. It's like some Sith type shit. And it's usually 2. Now in most more recent years, it's actually more than that. But we got to see like a teleport, kind of design where they actually use the second killer as a part of the kit. In some pretty creative ways, like actually one killer will call for the other in an old, like, fucking 1980s cell phone. I don't know if you peeped that yet, but that was was kind of cool to see. And then the other guy just comes up to slash you from behind to continue a combo, almost like a self cameo, a little bit.
Maybe they haven't announced any cameos, by the way. So, but there's Striker.
Yeah, good point.
So
yeah. Well, Striker's in that. Makes sense. Also, police. Cool.
Yeah, sure.
But the one thing that gets me though is during the clash though, you see him with the voice changer, like right next to him. Like they normally just like put him in the mask at this point. They don't have to show it up. You don't. And the thing is, it looks like the one from the very first one. Okay. The one that started all for the franchise, which is a pretty cool little Easter egg there. But besides that, we got to see just a little bit of like, a hit grab as well, it seems, to do some combo enders, which was kind of visceral, man. Couple stabs and then just like, pull through. And then you're hearing like Johnny's scream that the way that he screamed is kind of like, ooh, bro, like that definitely hurt. But yeah, he looks good. He looks good. And
do you know the lore behind all those masks that it was showing in that?
Yeah. That was like one of the things I loved picking apart was the mask, because we get a little bit of customization, right, in the game. It was already as soon as that came out, a lot of people just instantly started going like, oh, what are the masks? So there were 9 masks that were shown. We had the default one. We have a silver like chrome looking one, a devil one with the horns and all red. There's a scarecrow looking one as well, because it just looks very scarecrowish. Aged, that's a Scream 6 reference. If you did watch Scream 6, you've seen that mask. Bloody, that one's been around for a while. I don't remember they even had the versions of it that used to like pump blood.
Yeah,
like you actually had like a little pump.
Every kid had it.
Every kid had that.
There was at least one kid in your class that had one.
Yeah, and then we got some really cool MK crossover ones that I didn't know I wanted to see. So we had an MK2 Scorpion looking one.
That was weird.
It's just funky because the mask is so distorted. Right. We had a kind of like some people are calling it Terminator. I want to say it's more like maybe the Lin Kuei like Cyber Initiative kind of thought, because it's like a cybernetic looking one. But it's not too far range from saying maybe it could be a Terminator type mask, because it also has like the chrome. It's chrome with like red eyes, and then we have the one at the end that we got to see with the jump scare, which was like the Tarkat Baraka looking teeth as well. I was like, that's pretty tight. That's pretty tight.
One of the first comments under the Ed Boon post was, please give us the wazza.
Yeah, y'all had to fucking be there. Which, by the way, great timing, because of Wayne's just announced that they're making a new scary movie, right? Like 20 years later or something like that. What are the chances? Like that's come on. Like
depends
you
on
gotta
the movies
have
that they parody though. So hopefully they parody something. I mean, relevant, but like I don't know.
It's gonna be tough. We'll see, but we're definitely gonna see a call out to that. And kind of like the last thing that we got to see was what looks like a fatality with Johnny on the couch, and he's like, "Come on, it's the guy with the knife," and he's like showing up behind him and about to stab him and all, which got more people interested in what are the other characters going to say when they're sitting on the couch. Can you wait to see like Shao Kahn just sitting there as like, oh, he's behind you, mortal.
Change this realm.
Yeah, this realm is terrible. And I wonder if the couch also, it would be great if the couch changes with the character too.
Right. Or each character has a nightmare of sorts, right?
Yeah, that'd be kind of tight. But yeah, that's all we got. It was a bit of a teaser there, which means, we should be getting some real gameplay hopefully soon. Actually, I'm just double checking when is it. Oh yeah, so November 19th actually. Yeah. November 19th for early access. So yeah, we're definitely going to be getting some gameplay very, very soon. It's going to be coming out in a couple of weeks. November 26th for the full release. Okay. So if you didn't get the season pass, then you could just wait an extra week while people are just slicing and dicing. We got an interesting topic that came through. Uni 2. We've covered Uni 2 a while back. It's been a little bit because I can't tell if there's really been much that's been going on, but an interesting post that came up earlier in the week. It's 2024. Last I checked, it's 2024, and we are getting an arcade release for this game.
Yeah,
that's interesting to see that an arcade version of the game is coming out. The fact that there's even like any more arcade. I mean, sure, Street Fighter 6 was one. That's fine, but Street Fighter 6 is arguably like the biggest fighting game out right now, right? It's made insane ways, but for Uni 2 to come out with an arcade, that was a surprise. It was not on my bingo card for 2024.
No, not at all. I mean, you're expecting maybe a new character of some sort, but never.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not really out of the realm either that maybe they'll introduce a character in the arcade as well as part of it. But yeah, that was just pretty interesting. So it was being introduced at all game centers nationwide to have APM 3, the all net pass multi-version 3 installed, and they're like going to be putting out some details hopefully soon. This was just announced I think it was just like 2 days ago or like 3 days ago. So we'll hopefully be getting some more information on that. But then on top of that, they're also doing a character popularity vote.
Weird.
I'm wondering if they're going the route of ArcSys. Like, you know, ArcSys has been big on kind of posting up like, hey, favorite characters in different regions and such, and they take that into consideration when it comes to the DLC, right? We've gotten Dizzy, we've gotten Venom, we've gotten Biken, we've gotten everyone but Jam. Sorry, Jam Bros. But
and there's already guest characters in the game, so I mean,
yeah.
Expecting what's the one with the dress? I mean, I forget her name.
I don't know. You got me dog on that one. There's a lot of characters with a dress. You're not making it.
I know
very,
it's not Ori,
very,
but I bought the
specific.
game for my nephew, and he was like, "Oh, I know who that is," and I was like, "All right, cool." But then there's also Akatsuki, and who knows? Maybe we'll get Blitzcrank. Is it? What is the tank? The tank. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, you said Blitzcrank, bro. You're in the wrong game.
Franchise. Sorry.
I was like, yo, what do you know, son? What does this guy know? But yeah, so that yeah. But the you can check out the product survey and the character popularity vote. It's actually available for both Japanese and for English. All you got to do is check out InBirth PR on Twitter, and you'll see it as one of their posts. It's actually going to be closing up on the 17th, so you got about a little under 2 weeks to go check that out for all my unique hats out there.
It's my friend's main in League, so he walks funny, he says, and I'm like, okay, so you can walk like your man's.
Yeah,
so there you go.
There you go. Yeah, so that's what's going on there. So one thing to bring out actually we're gonna is that we've got a chance to check out. I don't know about you, man, but with Guilty out with a new patch, with basically the support we're getting in different games, like, you know, we were just covering things like MVCI last week with Max and all. I've been kind of just dipping in more and more on some of the indie fighters out there, and got a chance to come across Knockoff. Yes. Knockoff is it's an indie game being developed by I believe it's just not just two people, but it's being spearheaded by two friends who had dreams of, like, you know, like the standard fighting game dream of like making your own fighting game, right? Like, oh, what if this character got to play this character, right? So Knockoff is basically a kind of like a combo based fighting game. It's very fast paced, and it's being put under the realm. It's kind of unique in the premise where you're like action figures. It's gonna sound weird, but they're just action figures engaged in just fight. So, you know, think Small Soldiers, man. If you ever seen the movie Small Soldiers, it's basically that. So, but you know, the characters, they all kind of resemble like OG specific characters, and but they're not them. They're not them, and that's maybe, you know, chances are that's probably due to licensing issues, like Cronan. Like Cronan is clearly either Conan the Barbarian, or it could even be He-Man, right? Because of like the haircut and all that stuff. You've got Wolfgang, who's like this kind of lizard-looking character with like what seems like karate moves. So it's not a turtle, might not be a ninja either, but you kind of get the premise there.
Yeah, and I'm like the presentation again, phenomenal. Like it looks like it's almost everything is in like reality but not real, so it's also looks tilt shift. Like if you've ever seen like maybe a landscape footage of like a city in tilt shift form, that's what the backgrounds look like, almost like miniatures.
I haven't been able to check to see exactly what engine it's running on, if it's Unity or if it's UE5. I'm gonna have to look into it to check it out. But yeah, this is done by like a team of like 6 or 5 people, excuse me. But yeah, like the game, let's just put it out there right now and give it its flowers off the rip. Like the game looks amazing for a indie game that is just starting up, and it really is starting up. We'll talk about the Kickstarter in a little bit. It looks amazing. The presentation is awesome. I already love the graphics. Even just the title screen and even some of the music was already kind of fire. I was pleasantly surprised. It kind of just made it consistent. Like the branding was consistent across. Like, oh yeah, these are toys, and you know the backgrounds, even the stage design. Like I don't know if you got a chance to like look at the stages when you were like checking it out, but like you know you're in the backyard and you get to see like you know everything is to scale. So like yes, these characters are correct in like our viewpoint to play a fighting game, but if you look at the background, like everything is just to scale to them, and it just looks so good that it kind of like sometimes I would catch myself just kind of looking in the background a bit more than just you know my character, which is really interesting. I haven't really had a fighting game do that. I mean, a fighting game has done that to me before, but it's been a bit. It's been a bit that has caused me to kind of peek around a little bit more.
So I've been messing around with. I just wanted to mess around with the special moves and see what I could find. Not even like try to break the game, but or at least not yet. Because I'll be honest, some of the interactions are a little bit jank.
Yes,
but again, it is a game in development. Right,
development. That's so the key thing. We want to bring it out here, guys. It is in development.
And I'm not a game tester. You do want to break a game to see, you know, so things can get fixed. But I was just trying to look for the moves and special moves to see what I can do and what they do and how interesting it can get. And I didn't look up any footage about it, so I was just looking through like my own type of stuff. And, you know, I'm liking the simplicity of it. Like there's something about a simple sort of like command list that sort of like it's how do I say what's that word? Where not rejuvenating, but it's more refreshing to me.
Reinvigorating?
Yeah, it's refreshing to me for a move list to not be super duper long. So I mean, and it's a 6-button game.
Back to basics, baby. Yeah, back to basics.
6-button game. So you got if you're in the Marvel one, that's there. But I say Marvel one because it is moving like Skullgirls as well. So like, you know, it's got a lot going on for it in the terms of. I know I said simple, but the fact that you can Magic Series all the buttons is there as well. So, and you got to test out each one because some characters can't really cancel into some other ones. So
you know what it gets me? It's like KI feeling at times too. The way things link together.
Right. I definitely turned on the launch button only because it was inconsistent with the launch. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to risk it. They have a launch button. They put it here on purpose. Bam.
You know what? I'm the opposite. I actually had it initially and then I took it off.
Really? I just wasn't getting it wasn't. I was using the whoever the robot is. Hold on. I have the scene here. The website here.
Rayzinger.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Rayzingers.
Yeah.
He's kind of gross.
There was another thing that I found was like in his DP he can do certain moves. So like he can do like the air down fireballs and spam them. I'm like, oh snap!
I definitely looped it a couple times. I was like, yo, this is kind of gross, man. I'm kind of like feeling it. Like I went through the roster up. So for those that don't know, it is coming out with I think it's a 6-person roster at the moment. Let me just quadruple check. I think it's actually 5, but I might be confusing it with the actual vanilla version. It's actually 6. So we got Cronan, you got Wolfgang, Grimrot, which is a Skeletor, you know, kind of parody, Oozebite, which I'm trying to still nail down where like that's like coming from, like where the monster
maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, like it just reminds me of like the 90s, 80s, like, you know, gross toys that they would make and slime and this and that. Like he kind of encompasses that. Rayzinger.
I would have probably find something, but I don't know.
He's got very interesting animations, to tell you that much. Rayzinger, which, you know, kind of a play on whether it could be Voltron or our Transformers with Optimus, or even like, I don't know, Power Rangers. And then Lockjaw, which reminds me of like, what is it, like Street Sharks or something like that? What was that? What was that? It was like a TV cartoon.
Yeah, you're right.
What's it called? Street Sharks?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I am right. Yeah, Street Sharks.
Lockjaw's bad guys.
Yeah. Lockjaw even has a bike and everything. It has like a cosmic bike.
Wasn't the bad guy from Biker Mice from Mars a shark or a big dude with no? Don't remember. All right,
I can't remember that one, bro. But but all the characters were really dope. They all have a specific archetype. You know, Wolfgang is a Shoto through and through. The motions are the same: Fireball, Hurricane Kick, DP. So he's actually a really easy character to jump on. Most of them are, like you said, it's very simple. But the archetypes are there, which is really cool. Like at the most basic level, you can like jump on a character, and once you're feeling them, you can like actually just start unlocking. And half the time you go down the path of like, oh, does this connect? Oh, look at that, it did. And then you're just actually, I think the highest combo I got was like something like 40 something. But that was like multiple super chaining. Like like I said, it was very fundamentally easy, but it just allowed you to kind of break things open, which is pretty dope. So that got me pulled in to check it out, to play it more and more. But yeah, we were just talking about, this is an indie game, so there is some support that could be done for the game. There is a Kickstarter that is live right now. I think the Kickstarter is going on until, I think it's like for another 2 weeks. Yeah, it's about 18 days at the time of this recording. Yeah, they're taking it to expand their team, to obviously continue building on the game at a much faster pace as well. Their goal for like the vanilla game at the moment, they are looking at 7 character roster, 7 stages, arcade mode, offline versus, online versus, challenge mode, training mode. Your typical stuff that you need to have for a fighting game at this day and age to kind of succeed, right? You need to have at least that minimum content in there.
Despite it being like a little jank for it being an indie game and getting started, it still holds up for me, because like I'm usually not one to be like, I want to learn, or do I want to learn a new fighting game? No, it translated pretty easily. In essence, like to find certain things, like I could spend in training mode. I could spend time in training mode there for hours, just trying to find stuff or trying to perfect things, or even hit you up and say, hey, how do I do this? Can you look this up? Since you feel like you can execute certain things better than I can, here's what I found. Can you do this better than I can? And then we can optimize it from there. So it's got other video games that are in essence sort of woven into it. So I'm definitely digging it.
Yeah, and also, I mean, you're definitely digging it, because there's actually one thing I forgot to bring up. Also, it also has assists, random. Like that
each one has their own assist, like, right?
Each one has their own assist. Yeah. They all have their own assist, which is really cool. So it's like assist is just a universal mechanic, but it's not like you pick another character to be an assist. It's like, no, the character's kit comes with an assist.
Yeah, the Razinger guy has like his own Voltron plane to just. Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep, you got the Skeletor character, Grimrod. He brings his homie, a barbarian with a huge hammer, just starts beating the crap. He calls the homie on you, and he's just like, jump him, and it gets dirty. It works because of combo extenders. It especially when you time it right, you can actually then link certain moves to another, or other supers to another. So once again, the creativity at a very fundamental level is there, and it makes it a lot of fun. So they're going to be launching it on Steam with the future release, hopefully with Xbox and on PS5. You guys can support it. Once again, this is on Kickstarter, and back the project there. But if you want to at least get a taste of it, check it out. You can go to Knock Off the Game. They do have a demo available to you. It's a quick download. Doesn't take a lot. It's standalone. It's not like you need Steam or anything like that. You guys can go and check that out now. Get on to the training. There's versus the CPU and such. I believe you can do local player versus player as well. Yeah, you can. And just like go check it out. Go see if you guys want to go support these guys. They just recently put out a video as well. It's like kind of like the history as to like them trying to build the game, and getting more idea on the team that are clearly passionate. They've brought this out to like Blink Respawn before. They demoed it out there. We've had professionals actually go out and play it, like MenRD and all, which is really, really cool to kind of mess with the game. Go check it out. I think it was a really cool project, really cool game that could definitely, have some fun, even just for the spectacle of it, right? Like just for the spectacle of it. And, a good way to get someone that might want to try out a fighting game that isn't like trying to not say invest too much, but doesn't need a big barrier, but then can, see the fundamentals and then grow from there. Plus, who doesn't like barbarians and robots and ninjas and such? It's just good classic stuff right there. Good classic characters there.
Who doesn't want to play with their toys now?
Yeah, exactly. Right? We're all kids. We're all kids. Come on. All right. So we're going to be taking a quick break, guys. When we come back, when we talk about some bosses, and who would you put up there as the worst of the worst? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back. We just got done talking about some knockoff. Speaking of supporting, right? Supporting some fundamentals, some actual indies.
Crash, I just burned myself. This is some hot takes.
Some hot takes?
Some hot takes, yeah.
What you got some hot takes on? What you
hot takes about my bosses.
Oh no!
But you wanted to talk about something else. Okay.
Before we talk about your bosses, though, there's one thing I do want to talk about because, like I said, we're supporting all kinds of awesome projects out there in the community because there's some creative people, some awesome people, being able to put some light on some projects. And last week we did talk about MBCI, right, and Max and everything, but we did put up a poll about it because we had discussions about, honestly, where the direction of the game is going, and especially with the latest presentation they put out on it. Are you picking up MVCI when the mod Beyond releases? We posted it up all over the place. We had It's Marvel Baby, which means yes. And then No Mutants, meaning no, because that's also one of the big things, right, that people were like instantly not about. Can you guess how that one went, Static? We'll put you on the spot.
How do you know I didn't look at them?
I don't know if you did.
No, I didn't.
There you go. Don't look.
I'm not looking. Trello's behind. It's on a different window. But let me stop stalling. I say no.
You are correct. Yeah, actually, no took up the majority at 78%. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. People have also stated they're going to be picking up the game and trying it out, but they feel like it might be like a day or two thing, like not a long investment in it. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. The game is cheap. You can get it really, for literally dollars. It's not bad, but there's just, I think there's just some aspects on it that isn't going to be enough for some people, but not to say it's still not a great project. It definitely is. And I love the fact that it's happening, but yeah, we just wanted to get a kind of a temperature on how people were feeling about it.
Yeah, especially since there was a pretty good engagement with last week on the comments. And the good conversations about everything. And everybody came from like the right area, especially where we were at the end of it. Like, who is this for? So definitely check out last week's episode.
Yeah, definitely peep it out if you want to get your 2 cents in and let us know what your thoughts are on it. But with that, hot takes, bosses.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about your day job. We're talking about fighting game bosses. Those guys that are just at the end of the tower, end of the ladder, end of the arcade mode.
The backlog of boss games.
The ones that you hand off to your older sibling, like, I can't beat this guy. This sucks. This came out from a really cool thread where someone just put up, who would you put on your Mount Rushmore of fighting game bosses? If you had 4, if you had 4 bosses to put up, you had to put them up and the game. So there's like different versions of them, right? There's so many different games and they've made multiple appearances. They've terrorized generations at this point. Who would they be? That's something I want to discuss here. I'll go off with my first pick. And it's a strong first pick. And it was actually a tie for me for a little bit. It's still technically a tie, but I would put Shao Kahn.
Wow.
MK3 Shao Kahn specifically.
Yeah.
That one was a pain. Like, there's for the older generation, this is kind of like a known thing, but like for newer fighting game players that didn't grow up in the arcade or how these games were kind of coded, like the bosses like be reading your inputs. Like, yeah, that's a thing. I think in MK3 that shit was like cranked to 11 or 12 because it was
even on normal
such a fucking pain to deal with them.
And on normal, didn't matter if it was hard, easy, whatever.
Even at home, even on the console port, he was still a pain to tackle. His kid, I hated it.
I would only pick Sub-Zero or Scorpion.
Gotta be cheap. You gotta stun him somehow, right?
Exactly.
You can't grab him. You can't do a grab on him either because there's literally no animation for him to get grabbed. He'll just like kick you and then you fly across the screen.
Even Motaro was hard. So
you know what's So I had Kintaro actually as my tie from MK2 for him. And even then, I was thinking maybe Goro for 1, but I'm like, that's just, I was like, if he uppercutted you twice, that sucked. But I'm like, I think Kintaro was more of a pain because of, I think he was just overall just more of a pain than he was.
His anti-air was crazy.
But Shao Kahn for MK3 is the first head on my Mount Rushmore of Salt. What about you?
So I literally in the last 10-20 seconds changed mine from Seth to Gil because I remembered Gil was a thing. So like Seth from Street Fighter 4 was hard, but it was only harder if you didn't know what your character was doing. So I mean, obviously Sea Viper was the hardest for me because I didn't know what I was doing, but it was still easier if I were to pick Zangief because for some reason the computer in that game would run into all your lariats. Literally,
Didn't tech.
it's all
It was
they
it.
didn't. It was
They can't tech.
they would
didn't know
focus
anything.
attack it and just their health would melt.
Just eat it. Yeah.
So that
which
was
one,
an
though?
honorable mention, but I'm going back to Gil and Street
Which
Fighter
one?
3.
Okay.
Third Strike.
Well, which one?
Third
Okay.
Strike. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I beat the game with everybody in that game. Like, not to mention Resurrection was stupid. And before even you get to stupid Resurrection, you also have the full screen super. So like,
Yeah.
man. I remember playing in this room on Dreamcast, just trying to beat him with like Makoto. I'm like, this isn't happening. Pick
This
Ryu.
sucks.
This isn't happening.
I hated the physics of Resurrection because I can recall one moment where I was calling it out and I was like, oh, I hit him. I remember Ken. I was with Ken. I'll use Ken, and I had Shinryuken. I think it's like his. That was like super
The up one
2?
when you hold kicks.
Or yeah. Oh,
When you
no, not the
push the
kicks.
kicks.
No. Where
Oh, then Shoyu
it was
Reppa.
just DP. Yeah, Shoyu Reppa actually, and he has. I didn't realize he had full invo. I thought I could stop it. No, and the part that I learned there was that it had a pushback. So I supered. I'm next to him, but because of the pushback, Ken's just like
in the same spot. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
he's up on the top left. And I go, oh my god! Now I'm full screen. I lost meter, and I'm so screwed.
And his guts
that-
is like
yeah.
crazy in that game.
That's why Gil's actually my second pick
Oh,
of
there
Mount
you go.
Kombat.
Okay, great.
He was my second head up there because it instantly went to me. I was like, yo, fuck this guy, man. I hated fighting against him. I hated getting iced and or burned. His limbs were annoying. And he parried the shit out of you. Like, talk about bosses that like really annoyed you. Like Gil is definitely up there for me. So
3 big
all right, well, that was my
supers,
second
too.
pick. That was your
Yeah,
first pick. What's
there
your
you go.
second pick?
So I wrote on here. I'm gonna keep what I wrote next as last. But Onslaught, because I had never beat him.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
playing
that's
Marvel
right.
1 the other day, trying to beat him.
Recent confession from
Yeah.
you. You never beat Onslaught.
I was trying to beat him with all these other characters, like not Ryu, not this. I remember. I know we rented the game, but I think that might have been Apocalypse in the other games. But Onslaught, I was literally playing the other day, and I'm like, I can't even get past the first one without somebody dying. So
Mind you, this is Onslaught from MBC1, guys.
Yes,
This is Onslaught from
MBC1,
MBC1. And this
so
is
yeah.
first form or second form or just in general?
First form beat one of the characters up so bad that the second form didn't make me stand a chance. So I'm like,
No,
well, GG's.
Those-
I don't
those
remember
dirty-
if I
those
beat it
dirty
when I was a kid or
arcade,
not.
those
Yeah.
dirty arcade tactics, man.
Yeah, it is what it is. Whatever. That one's just it's just a personal tough one.
That one's a personal grudge. Gotcha.
Yeah.
You know what's funny for me? Oh man, just because you changed up, it makes me want to flip here. But I would say for my third, I've got Bison from CVS2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he
Like
was
the desert
really. Yeah, he was for me. Whenever I played against him, like technically, yes, he's not a boss because in that game it was for boss. Well, what was Bison? No, because
If
it's
you
like
did,
Akuma,
if you did a certain amount,
Rugal, Geese. Yeah, like
yeah, if you did a certain amount it'd be like, here comes a new challenger, and it'd be Geese
it
or
would be.
Bison.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
are you
that-
talking about
that version.
CVS 1 where Geese was hard and so was
No,
Bison? No, okay,
I think I'm thinking of CVS2 for sure.
okay.
Yeah, Bison, like, yeah, he was annoying as shit, and I think it was that version where it's like if you did do well, he would show up. Because I remember constantly getting to him, and I'm like, man, I am getting my ass whooped. And I thought
Really? But
maybe that's why I was
Bison-
thinking boss because I would.
It
Just,
must
yeah,
be
would that
CVS
special
1
event.
because the bosses in CVS 2, those mid bosses, the sub bosses,
Yeah.
because how do I say this? Okay, the sub bosses in that game were sub tier because you could pick all 3 characters, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Whereas you
I
get
was-
to my
I was
next
young.
pick,
I
which
was
is
young.
God Rugal, and F that character in that game, okay?
Yeah,
That dude,
yeah,
if you beat
that's-
him, you are God. If you
Yeah.
lose to him, you are a... I don't
You're like,
know.
okay.
Yeah.
You're okay with
And
it.
I also put God Rugal / Akuma because either
Yeah,
one,
that-
when
that-
when Osaka was on fire, you are fooped, okay?
You are fucked, bro. Yeah, that's why I was like kind of tired. I was like, oh, it's either
Yeah.
that Bison or I was like either of the Shin or God Rugal. And God forbid you also would get demoned by God Rugal, and then you get hit with the it's on his chest and everything. Like, you know how he shows like he has the 10 symbol on his
Yeah,
chest, and then if he
yeah.
demons you, it's like you're done.
Not
His
that,
anti-air, like the
Bro.
kick,
Yeah, the
son,
kicks,
the
yeah.
crescent kick. Oh,
I
that
still have
haunted
the
me.
sound effect just stuck in my head.
Yeah,
Ching,
yeah,
ching. Oh,
yeah,
no.
exactly. That pain, that thing, like,
You
that
might
wasn't
call-
a quarter drop, and that
Yeah.
was your life.
Well, hear me out though. You think that's bad? I think the worst part about it is him dragging you from one side of the screen to the other. And you're just like, how am I alive? And no, you're dead.
Yeah, it was so fucking unfair.
And then when you try to throw a fireball, the green portal's just there, and I'm like, well, guess I'm dead.
I guess I'll die. I guess I'll
Yeah.
fucking die then. Sorry
And then-
for trying.
Now again, if it is Shinakuma, whatever, you might be like, oh, but God Rugo's better. I mean, when you get plastered with 400 fireballs coming down
When you
on your
get
face,
fireball looped, oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're done. You're done. So man, yeah, CVS2 was just not. They just did not. They had twice the cast, twice the IP, so they had to give you twice the bullshit.
So you gave your 3.
Yeah,
I gave
what's
my
your
3. What's
that's
your
your
4?
third? Okay. For me, this is not a controversial pick, but it's honestly this is more a little. I don't even say personal, just experience. Night Terror from Soul Calibur 3 was a bitch, and the reason for that is even though he's like a Tales of Soul, like so I enjoyed a lot of Tales of Souls in that game. I think Soul Calibur 3 has probably like one of the best Creative Souls and like Tales of the Souls like content in the series for me. Like I played it so fucking much. He was such a pain. The main thing for me, you can't ring him out.
Oh.
Like a big component of Soul Calibur, especially if you want to cheese something, it's like, oh, I'll just fucking ring you out in some way, shape, or form. I couldn't ring him out, and he was just like this insane, literal nightmare hybrid, and just would deck you. But you couldn't. But he could, just toss you and just ring you out from like half screen while you couldn't. I was like, that kind of just imprinted in my head. Like I hated dealing with that. That was a pain. And you know what? I picked Night Terror because that's the first one that came to mind for Soul Calibur 3. But I want to say in general, if I want to put any honorable mentions, really any of the fucking bosses like post SC3 are a fucking pain in Soul Calibur. Like, yeah, I think the bosses in Soul Calibur, are some bullshit. Like, just honestly, if I could put them all, I would.
I only played part 2, and so I have no idea. Like, that's it. That's as far as I go. However, if you want to talk about
only
honorable,
like the guest characters over here.
If you want to talk about honorable mention, I'm gonna bring in a really like deep cut and go Battle Arena Toshinden for the Sega Saturn. Yeah, Battle Arena Toshinden for the Sega Saturn. You've got I remember his name. I think his name was Gaia, and there was also a Ring Out game, and he was just like he had this big sword. Gaia with this huge sword, and I forget what the main characters are.
Oh yeah, that looks cheap.
Yeah. Gaia the sword, and you have Sho. I think is the secret character. That's the main character's brother, and if you beat him, oh my god, no wait, if you beat him, you get this other girl. But then if you beat the other girl, then you fight Sho, who could throw double fireballs. So that's honorable mention.
Oh, you think you're nice? Here's twice the plasma, dog.
I used to like pose as them in like school because I thought it was cool. Like this game was so cool for Sega Saturn. Anyway, doesn't matter. But the fourth is Justice. Justice and Guilty Gear original.
Oh, you know what? You know who I was really close to putting? Justice was a good pick, but for me, I was really close to putting Eno.
Yeah, but it was just like once you learn how to dodge the fireballs, like
the super was such a pain.
That's what I'm saying. Once you learn how to dodge them, it was like pretty soft.
But Justice, that's a very good choice.
Holy crap! Like in that first game. Oh, not to mention that first game. If you get destroyed, it's 2 kills.
You're done.
GG.
Yeah, you're done. Yeah.
Again, instant kills in the old game. Cheat. The game is over. Done. 99 seconds. Boom.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. You're not getting put back together. Like the game is actually done. The match is over.
And
imagine
like
that shit nowadays.
Yeah. So like that's why I think like if you beat every character with no continues, but you get to Justice and you beat it with Justice with one of the 3 characters, you get to fight Baiken. But that's even hard in and of itself. But it can again. I think they were lenient enough to be like, no, you can get to still fight Baiken if I think it was Cliff, Soul, and Kai. If you beat the whole game with no continues and no losses, and then fight Justice.
Yeah, but Justice is
like,
cheap. You understand that there's a reason why we reacted to things like Michael's Sword the way that we did.
Yes.
Because Justice was real in that shit, and it was just like PTSD. There is a reason, guys. I'm sorry. We're not doing it just for reactions.
In the game now we talked about jank earlier in the episode, but this game had no test. This game is janky as hell. So
they just let it go. They just let it rock. Okay, those are some good honorable mentions. There's some, some interesting takes there. But what about you guys? This is actually what we want to ask you guys this week for this episode's question of the week. Who is in your Mount Rushmore of fighting game bosses? The ones that bring up the salt, that makes you throw controllers, give up the quarters, and actually go out and play a different game. Let us know what you guys think. We'll be posting up this question on all of our podcast platforms, as well as on YouTube, and as well as on Discord, which we're going to plug in a second.
Yeah. So I remember, actually, I went to my friend's house recently, and he was playing some fighting game. He goes, dude, you never played this fighting game before? I'm like, no, I don't. He's like, this is the final boss. His name is Fernandez, and he's like this big blob of a ball. It's like some SNK game that I just don't know about. But by the way, earlier I was talking about a guest character in a game. I thought it was Unist, but it was actually Melty Blood. It was Saber.
I thought so. I was like, he's a tripping, because that's like Unist didn't have any guest characters.
Tripping.
Thanks for that correction. That's what we try to be, is correct here on this show.
Yeah.
But with that, guys, that is gonna be it for this episode of Double Tap. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us for another episode. Hopefully you guys are out rocking on some Strive, or looking forward to things like Ghostface and all when that come out later on this month. But we appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Make sure to follow us once again on all social media platforms at Double Tap FGC. Also, we are taking submissions for community segments, questions, or topics that you want to talk about the show here with us here. Make sure to reach out to us on our social platforms, or you can email us at doubletap@mash.gg. Make sure to follow my awesome host, StaticGorilla, at StaticGorilla, on all social media platforms, as well as on Twitch, where he'll be streaming.
Man, it's been still sporadic, but I've been trying to stream certain games. I skipped on the Halloween stuff, but I'm trying to still do professional mode Resident Evil 4. I did get past the hut, yes. But
there you go.
There's still
and some more
to
Strive,
do.
maybe?
Of course. Maybe I'll give Testament a shot this week. Who knows?
Yeah, there you go. Got some Testament play there. You can follow me, of course, at Crashtag VS on Twitter. And make sure, even though he's not here, make sure to follow Mezza at Mezza FGC. Go say what's up to the home and get some Dizzy play there. And make sure to follow, once again, the show at Double Tap FGC, all social media platforms, including platforms like Blue Sky. We're on there as well. And on our YouTube, we'll be posting up a video version of this podcast on there, as well as some segments to check out specifically on the actual YouTube there. And of course, if you want to get involved on our question of the week, our polls, all that stuff, make sure to check us out on Discord, doubletap.gg/Discord. Join the awesome community that we have there. Post some articles, get involved with them. We have modders, we have players, we have viewers, we have everything in there. Awesome people. We love everyone that's in there. We appreciate y'all that are hanging out. And come say what's up. Come hang out with the homies. But in the meantime, though, guys, that is going to be it for this week. Make sure to stay tuned after the show to hear about the other shows here on the Mash Those Buttons Network, and we'll have another episode next week for y'all. But until then, make sure to reflex shield as much as you can. Season 4 is crazy. See y'all next week.
Agreed.
Peace.